Hello everybody, Greg Webb here with this week's Stumped Speech, coming to you live from the Bicentennial Mall here in Nashville, Tennessee. I hope perhaps you can see in the distance over my shoulder the state capitol where the people's business of this fine state gets taken care of. Let's get right to it. It's going to be a little over 4 minutes. I hope you stay with me. I want to talk to Christians out there today. Just this past week, 3 days ago, I finally heard for the first time then candidate Trump give an interview with a conservative radio talk show host. I think it was Bob Longberry, AM 1180, somewhere in the Northeast there, you can look it up, where, because he had stated that the Bible was his favorite book, he was asked if there was a particular passage or verse that was particularly formative in his worldview or personality. And candidate Trump thought for a minute and then very clearly said, an eye for an eye, there's that. An eye for an eye. Out of the whole Bible, the entire Old Testament, he picked one snippet of one verse as his favorite that just happened to be the exact same snippet of the exact same verse that Jesus chose to specifically repudiate in his Sermon on the Mount. You remember? You've heard it said, an eye for an eye, but I say unto you, turn the other cheek, etc. So Christians, especially those of you in positions of power and wealth. Let me get a little more specific. Jerry Falwell Jr., you who have just said in the last week that any Christian who doesn't support this president may in fact be immoral, you, sir, are indicting yourself. Franklin Graham, it doesn't matter how many meals Samaritan's Purse serves, you can't serve enough meals to cover the stench of you continuing to cover for this charlatan in the White House. To every Christian out there who thinks that because some conservative judges have been appointed, or who thinks that because of any other deal that this president is somehow a modern-day Cyrus the Great, someone who may not have it all together personally, but God is nevertheless using for divine purposes, read my lips. There is not a God worth worshiping who would use this wolf in narcissist clothing to accomplish any divine purpose whatsoever, except perhaps to expose how his supposed followers had wandered into the weeds, worshiping worldly wealth above all else. Isn't that crazy? All of you who have been out there thinking God is using Donald Trump for divine purposes, you're right. It's just not the purpose you thought it was. You've been exposed. An eye for an eye. Open your eyes before both of them get gouged out by this clown that's in the White House and leaves the rest of us plunged back into the dark ages as well. Please. Thank you. Amen. Enjoy your lunch.